to be some schools that are reputable instead of, before there was schools that just start out and the guy would say he knows something and people, they fall for that stuff, and people are really starting to learn what schools are actually have some relevance.
Yeah, we've been talking about that a lot the last couple of weeks, and Steve Pinello brought that up too, that we just think the days of the independents are going away, They're not going to last. They're going to have to end up with some kind of decent trainers and decent school to be able to make it very far. They'll get on a couple cards and then they'll disappear, but I think the independents are disappearing.
Nobody likes to see those fights anymore where one guy is well trained and the other guy is not well trained, and it's obvious. And then you're questioning the promoter, how'd that happen? So yeah, you want to see two guys in there who are very well trained, and you'll get somebody in there like Matt Ricehouse who will take somebody really well trained and still take them out in 30 seconds. But that's okay, because that's going to happen.
Well, I know Mike's a quality guy because I can't ever get none of his on my show. So
there's so many promoters now.
Right.
We've hashed out. I guess May 15th. Is that the date that we're gonna have guys on your show?
Yeah, that'll be Sudden Impact 5. Right. So yeah, May 15th. No, I'm just teasing because I said we must not be quality, but no,
it's hard to get. There's so many promoters now, and I only have. Believe it or not, I only got 12 guys to fight. It's not like I got.
Burn them up. No.
Yeah, I don't have all these. I don't have an army of fighters. I just got I got a platoon.
Right.
Well, but people want your fighters because they know they're going to bring a good fight.
Oh, and that's what it's always been. Is that Mike's a good guy, and he goes to a lot of different promotions and puts his guys out there on the better promotions, and it hasn't ever been a bad thing. It's just conflict of schedule because you're like Knoebels, Jim. You guys are fighting every weekend, and some of the bigger schools are getting that kind of action because they're wanting your kind of quality fighters out there.
Yeah, most of these guys, a lot of these guys are just recreational fighters. I mean, Matt wants to be a professional fighter. John Sample wants to be a professional fighter. A couple of the other guys possibly, and I got one pro now, Tyron Woodley. And other than that, you can't be like, hey, you have to fight this weekend, and this weekend, and this weekend, and they don't get any money for it. They're still kids, 20 years old, 21. They want to do other stuff besides fight. Even though they like to fight, they don't want 10 fights a year.
Right. Matt, are you able to train full time, or do you have to hold a job also at the same time?
Yeah, I work for AT&T. I work more than full time there. Stay pretty busy.
He works 60, 70 hours a week. It's hard to get him in the gym.
That's all right. I actually have to thank you for coming out tonight because I know otherwise you'd be at work.
Yeah, I got off on the head over here, but I stay pretty busy with work. Right now it's slowing down a little bit, but so I have plenty of time to train. But sometimes I can only train once a week or maybe twice. But I just get in wherever I can. And I started training at our main school in Fenton, Rodrigo's gym, Viking Martial Arts, a little over 3 years ago, and that's where I met Mike. And so on Sundays I can go fit in a class, down at Guidry's down in the city, or I can go out to, Winsville and see Tracy, whoever has a class going on, I make it wherever I can, as soon as I get free time, so.
Yeah, and you can see the difference. I mean, I can see where there's a guy who can train a whole bunch, but he's training with his buddies in the backyard, and all three of you guys are good examples of that. I know Samir's a business owner. Brian's a Dearborg's manager, and you're working 60, 70 hours a week, but you guys find quality trainers, and you sacrifice and find the time to go in on Sundays and do other things. I know Brian's the same way, that, he's had trainers near his house. You had 2 or 3 gyms that you could just go to, so when you couldn't even get to your primary trainer. And Samir, I know you're a business owner, and it's hard for you, but you guys find the time to make the sacrifice and work with good trainers, and all 3 of you are right near, at or near the top of the local action, so you don't have to necessarily be a full-time trainer if you've got the right trainer and the right dedication to give up your Sundays and those other things, evidently. So that's one of the better things is that's going to separate, because you guys are still amateur athletes. You should still be able to have a life. You're not getting paid a penny, like Mike said, to get out there and work that hard.
No, but it is amazing, as amateurs, how hard you guys do train.
Absolutely.
Samir, I know when you're in the gym, you give it 220%. Ouch.
So about how bad you want it and how much you want to do it, you you really got to do yourself. I mean, especially just like Matt mentioned, you know, if you don't have a time, once you make that time to go in the gym, you really want to put 100% in, you know, to, you know, get a good workout, good training, you know.
Yeah.
Good-
It all
good
pays off though
training,
when you get in the
exactly.
cage, you know, because I know. Let's talk about your fight a little bit more this weekend in Metropolis, Illinois. You went in there, you had a plan. Tell us, because I didn't get to go to this fight. Maybe you could just walk us through it a little bit, how things went. Is that something you can do? Do you remember the whole fight?
Well, I pretty much remember the whole thing. I always ask for advice of my trainers, you know, before I step in the ring. What is the best thing to do? Of course, you can't predict what's going to happen. And Steve Knobel told me this guy's a kicker. He's a kickboxing, I believe, you know. So he said, be aware of that. You know, I usually like to come in and check out my opponent, see what he's about, you know. So.
You started with the stand-up though, didn't you?
Yeah, we started stand-up. I, kicked him a few times. You know, he kind of closed in the clinch. I took him down, knee him a couple of times, got him to the key lock.
And end of the fight there.
That's pretty much.
So it ended in the first round.
First round. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say that was a pretty good summary, Andy. I saw those leg kicks, and I could hear them in the audience. I wouldn't want to be kicked by them. And I saw those knees, kind of a signature CMMA move, right to the back while he's laying on the ground. It's like, ouch.
You decide.
Yeah, the back.
He didn't mean that. Hopefully that's not a signature of CMMA move.
And it turned out pretty good after all, you know. Nice guy, I spoke to him afterwards. He's a very nice person. Again, I do this, it's nothing personal. It's
No,
martial
that's.
arts.
I know you're shaking
I
the guy's hands afterwards. You always wanted to go over and talk to him, and
Yeah, I mean,
very personal and an excellent sport.
thank you, Andy.
Yeah, it's fun to watch you fight too. It's more fun each time. You know, you get more experience. You've always brought the toughness ever since you've been down there. But your stand up and your ground keeps getting better, and it's you get more and more well-rounded. It's just fun to watch you fight. So,
Thank you, Andy.
congratulations on that
Appreciate
victory.
it. Thank you, John.
Now, I think you would have held on to number 9 either way, but we're gonna have to
It's
start,
alright.
start looking up the chart there on the rankings.
I'll
and
fight my way up.
fight your way up. There you go. Well, very good. And Matt, let's get back to you a little bit here. Now, you've had 5 fights. How long have you been fighting?
I just started fighting this last summer, and I started training. The way it works is I saw Tracy Taylor fight. Him and my dad worked together, so me and my dad went and watched a couple of Tracy's fights, and I thought that's something I wanted to do. So looked up some gyms and kind of talked to Tracy about where to go, and I decided I want to start training for MMA. And he said, no, you want to train jiu-jitsu, and then MMA will come. So I trained about 3 years, maybe 2.5 years jiu-jitsu, and I started in Muay Thai probably after about 6 months to a year into doing jiu-jitsu. So then I started training boxing too. I was working with our boxing coach down at our school in Fenton on like Saturdays, and so I was mixing it up a lot, but I didn't start fighting until this last summer. So I waited plenty of time to start fighting until I thought I was ready.
Well, we appreciate that, and we've talked about that several times on the show. We like the trainers who don't just let their guys get in there too fast. Some guys just want to get in bang, and that's okay. They need that. They need to go through that trial by fire. But I really have more appreciation when they really train the fighter. And then they're, maybe your first fight, you don't really have a game plan. You try, you do your best, but it kind of is a blur, I think, for most people. But from then on, you're fighting a game plan, and it shows. And it shows from the guy who just goes out there and flails his arms, one way or the other if he's going out there and, fighting with a game plan.
Right, Mike, you probably, I don't know, do you have a set amount of time that's a rule that you have to train, or is it individual?
Everybody's different. There's no, it just depends, Some of these guys have had a lot of wrestling, and that's a big advantage. When they come in and do wrestling, Matt didn't have any wrestling, so it took him just a little bit longer. He's got great form, and his technique is really good. So I mean, he's pretty much a natural. He works hard. I wouldn't say he's a natural. He works really hard, but man, he's got his technique down. But no, there's no set. People ask me